Lammas is a new community of 9 families in Pembrokeshire in Wales, which is taking advantage of radical new legislation which allows low-impact sustainable communities to build eco-smallholdings on open countryside. Using the latest innovations in environmental design, green technology and permaculture, this community is completely independent of all main services, sourcing fuel, water, electricity and food from the site. Every family grows their own food to some extent, but Jane Wells is probably the most productive with her 2 polytunnels.
So we've been eating sweet corn from here, that's nearly over now. Loads and loads of strawberries, they've done really well. Marrows and pumpkins, beans and peas. Look, oh, wow, I didn't know that was there.
What is it?
There's a pumpkin.
Oh my god.
Squash.
Stop, have a look at that.
Well, it's not that big actually, I've got bigger ones. I have grown bigger ones, but
that's nothing.
That's just, yeah.
Forget that.
These have just gone crazy over the last month or so. And my potatoes won first prize at the show in the village. They had like this village show for things, so I was really pleased. Yep, so that's a polytunnel. Yeah.
Polytunnel.
So that gives a much more sheltered environment, so it meant that we got crops a lot earlier.
Right.
It also gets very kind of moist, it's like a cloud in here, but you can feel the temperature difference in here. So we've harvested like kilos and kilos of tomatoes.
Really?
So we've got here peppers, chilies and runner beans. We've also got carrots, and I put salads in where I've got space. And courgettes, they keep coming, butternut squash right down there.
One big.
Yeah.
Big.
This isn't the biggest one I grew. I actually won second prize. They had a competition in the village for the heaviest marrow, and it's not technically a marrow because it's a very big courgette, but the one that won, it was actually bigger than this. But that's in the van. We're going to eat that.
Will you be eating it rather than clubbing people to death?
Yeah.
And this winter, what do you think is going to happen?
I think probably what we'll be eating is stuff that we stored, you know, like the marrows and the potatoes, pumpkins and things.
You guys aren't vegetarian, are you?
No, no.
So you're eating meat as well?
We do eat meat. The cockerels now, the young cockerels are probably about ready to eat. So it's a case of can we do that?
But what goes in must come out. Next we went to meet Nigel Lishman, who explained how the community deals with its sewage. So tell us about the dunny.
Well, this is, bearing in mind this is a temporary dunny, so it's literally just a long drop. It's not a thing of beauty, but it's not a terrible thing, and the kids all handle it, and so visitors. It's a product that if you compost it properly, it certainly isn't toxic waste, and it can be used growing, you know, food that you're not eating directly. So to fertilise trees and things like that, it's fine. And
then what do? Just put the earth over it?
You cover the earth over it in a pile, which is what that is. And it was obviously, it wasn't full up. So then you get soil and stuff in, and you put sawdust in all the time with this to sort of help the whole thing not be too horrible. And then the idea is that the trees grow into a very rich nutrient mess. So that tree's planted, that bush is planting on it. No. I think it'll be very well, yeah. I mean, we've had a guy actually bring in a jar of his stuff that he'd dug out. And he said, well, go on then, you know, open this. And there's a lot of stuff. But it's just compost. It doesn't smell. Yeah, you do this and it's not shit anymore.
A year and a half.
Yeah, a year and a half or something, isn't it? It's funny though, toilets are they're the big interest point with people, aren't they?
Everyone loves to talk about poo.
Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? I think it's it. Maybe it's every British person or something.
Probably. All of these projects require a lot of manpower to build and are only made possible by Lammas's regular stream of volunteers. We went down to the hub, which is to be a central community building where Aris Gibson was instructing the volunteers on how to make tyre and mud breeze blocks.
These are recycled, reclaimed tyres that we're using as a stem wall for a conservatory solarium that's going to be on the end of this hub building, the eco building here. So we try not to use concrete breeze blocks where we can. If you wanted to come in and start getting it slammed in the sides a bit.
I've been here 10 minutes. It was pretty hard work.
I'm recording, Heydon. Can you wipe the sweat of your forehead?
This kind of volunteering, known as woofing, is growing around the UK. All through the year, armies of enthusiastic people of all ages flock to the UK's hundreds of eco-villages in order to lend a hand and help grow the sustainability movement. They do it completely for free, their only reward being the exchange of information and the knowledge that they are contributing towards a more sustainable future. If there is a big society to be found in the UK, it is here.
Yeah, we're enjoying a week of hard work, but really enjoyable. Learning how to do all these traditional building methods from cob, dry stone walling, wood framing, you know, and give them a bit of help and support.
You come here expecting to learn certain things, you know, building techniques or about how they're living and how they're cooperating, but I think also you just come out with such a feeling of energy and liveliness.
The volunteer weeks are run by Hoppy Wimbush and her husband Paul. Paul is one of the founding members of the Lammas community.
So yeah, this is our plot. It extends about 3/4 of this field. It's basically considered very poor agricultural land, because an important thing of what we're trying to do is turn marginal, poor agricultural land into something that is incredibly productive and incredibly diverse. You know, therefore creating, you know, a multitude of products and also environmental services at the same time, increasing biodiversity, taking carbon out of the atmosphere, locking it into the ground. The entire land that we're on now was previously down to sheep, and the tenant farmer used to bring in an income of about £2,500 a year through the sale of lamb.
From this field?
From these fields, yeah. So in 5 years' time, we're expecting to produce over 100 grams worth of produce from this land.
Wow.
So that's a 40-fold increase a year in productivity. So before, this land, this 76 acres, formed a very small part of one farming family's income. In 5 years' time, this land, the same piece of land, will totally support 9 families.
So you're saying you can be much more economical with the same space of land? You're sort of...
Yeah, and that is the key difference between permaculture and agriculture.
The Welsh Assembly is one of the few governments in the world to have made a legal commitment to sustainability. As a result of this commitment, Pembrokeshire County Council adopted something called Policy 52 in 2006, which was intended to provide for eco-smallholdings in previously protected open countryside on the basis that they make a positive environmental, social and economic contribution. Paul initially formulated his proposals for the Lammas project in direct response to this policy, but still the council didn't make his life easy. 3 years, 2 rejections and thousands of planning application papers later, the Lammas project was given the green light in the summer of 2009.
The opportunity that we are celebrating here at Lammas is now available across the whole of Wales, because the Welsh Assembly government see that actually the way forwards in terms of sustainability is to get people back onto the landscape, working the land. You know, that way the landscape becomes more productive, the landscape becomes more diverse, and we can take more carbon out of the atmosphere and sink it.
What are they exactly offering?
They are offering permission. You know, if you buy a piece of land in England, you build a house on it, you'll have the whole planning system come down on you like a ton of bricks. Now you can buy a piece of land in Wales, you can buy, say, 5 acres for £20,000. Now you could, if you are committed to sustainability and committed to working on the land, build yourself an eco-smallholding on that piece of land for, say, I don't know, 30 to 50 grand, and that's what they're offering.
Wasn't it a bit of a struggle for you to get?
It was difficult for us, but we were the first. We were breaking the ground, if you like, and since our application, new policies in place which makes it easier.
Oh right, so you've kind of done the hard work for everyone else.
We've kind of, maybe we've been the blunt edge of the sword, if you like. I don't think governments are going to provide the solutions to the challenges at hand. I don't think our economic system or our corporate structures are going to provide the solutions that we need. I think solutions are going to come from people. I think solutions need to happen on the ground, you know, and that's kind of what Lammas is about, really. It's all about empowering people to create their own solutions.
David Cameron has said that he wants big society initiatives commended and rewarded, not tolerated grudgingly with seemingly endless hoops to jump through and obstacles to overcome. Britain has one of the lowest proportion of self-built homes in the EU. Low-impact housing could be a solution to the lack of affordable homes in the UK, as well as the crisis of our carbon economy, and yet planning systems in England make virtually no provision for cheap, low-carbon homes like Lammas.